Hello, I'm back. It's that time. So it's Friday. So I guess it's quiz time. So we're gonna have a quiz, and everybody's gonna be marked. And suddenly they're all turned off right now. Okay, so let's review the week we had a little bit. So we started Monday. We did a little bit of Shel Silverstein, and Tuesday, the lesson that just went ballistic was the lesson on farts, and I got amazing results from that, and some good cartoons. Wednesday, we read our original story about Darian, and I am flabbergasted by some of the cartoons that you've drew and sent to us, and we're really happy about that. And yesterday was Bernoulli's Principle. We did that one, and it's windy outside, so I'm in my office with the chair. That's the chair. So, making sure you know that. So yeah, and Bernoulli's Principle, here, just give you another little little review. See, I made a little bridge out of a piece of paper. You just fold it, put it on. Now, if I blow through here, I make faster moving air coming through here. What's going to happen to the top of the bridge? Is it going to go up, or is it going to go down? There. You answer that one. That's your quiz. You figure it out and go try it out. Yesterday I said to go look up Rube Goldberg machines. That's going to be your homework for the weekend. I think you should go. There's so many great videos. There's a rock band that only does their videos with Rube Goldbergs, and I play some of them on my site. You got to watch that, and I think you should do that. So your homework assignment I'm going to give you right now. Get out of your pajamas and get dressed, okay? And then go clean your room. Yeah, that's your assignment for today. Get out of your pajamas and go clean your room. Yeah, let's be a little bit normal again. So we've got a few stories I'm going to read. I promised you this one with Tuesday's lesson. And I think I'll end with it because it's quite the good book by Robert Munch. I'll give you a few Shel Silversteins right now. Let's see what we got here. I touched my face. I'm sorry. Oh no, I touched my face, so I'm showing you the wrong things to do. Well, now that you're in the house, you've got some chores to do, I hope. Some of you have to wash your dishes. This poem's called How Not to Have to Wash. How not to have to dry the dishes, sorry. If you have to dry the dishes, such an awful, boring chore. If you have to dry the dishes, instead of going to the store. If you have to dry the dishes and you drop one on the floor. Maybe they won't let you dry the dishes anymore. Not giving you any ideas. Of course, this one we needed is the sitter. I'll show you the picture after. The sitter. Mrs. McTwitter, the babysitter. I think she's a little bit crazy. She thinks a babysitter's supposed to sit upon the baby. I hope the people looking after you are not doing that, because that might tie into Tuesday's lesson, and we don't want that. We don't want that. So, clean your room. This one's called Messy Room. Clean your room. You got lots of time. And then you're going to find all sorts of stuff to make your Rube Goldbergs out of. Messy room. Whosever room this is should be ashamed. His underwear is hanging on the lamp. His raincoat is in an overstuffed chair, and the chair is becoming quite mucky and damp. His homework is wedged in the window. His sweater's being thrown on the floor. His scarf and one ski are behind the TV, and his pants are carelessly hung on the door. His books are all jammed in the closet. His vest is being left in the hall. A lizard named Ed is asleep in his bed, and his smelly old sock is stuck to the wall. Whosever room this is should be ashamed. Donald, Robert, Willie, or... Huh? Oh, you say it's mine? Oh, dear. I knew it looked familiar. Guess I gotta clean my room. That's what I'm gonna do, too. Clean my room. Let's see. Next one. the next one. This one goes with Bernoulli. It's the adventures of a Frisbee. And a Frisbee flies because of Bernoulli's principle that gives it luft. Luft? It gives it luft, yes. That's a new word for lift and love. That's what we have right now, lift and love. It's luft. Frisbees fly by luft. The adventures of a Frisbee. The Frisbee, he got tired of sailing to and fro and to and fro and thought about the other things that he might like to do. So the next time they threw him, he turned there in the sky and sailed away to try to find some new things that he could try. He tried to become an eyeglass, but nobody could see through him. He tried to become a UFO, but nobody knew him. He tried to become a dinner plate, but he got cracked and he quit. He tried to become a pizza, but got tossed and baked and bit. He tried to become a hubcap, but the cars were all moving too quickly. He tried to become a record, but the spinning made him sick. He tried to become a quarter, but he was too big to be spent. So he rolled home, quite glad to be a Frisbee once again. See, you are what you are. Oh yeah, this is a biggie. This is a biggie, and it's all about making people laugh and how we are inside. Clooney the Clown. I'll tell you the story of Clooney the Clown, who worked in a circus that came through town. His shoes were too big and his hat was too small. And he just wasn't funny at all. He had a trombone to play loud, silly tunes. He had a green dog and 1,000 balloons. He was floppy and sloppy and skinny and tall. But he just wasn't funny at all. And every time he did a trick, everyone felt a little sick. And every time he told a joke, folks sighed as if their hearts were broke. And every time he lost a shoe, everyone felt awful blue. And every time he stood on his head, everybody screamed, "Go back to bed!" And every time he made a leap, everyone fell asleep. And every time he ate his tie, everyone began to cry. And Clooney could not make any money simply because he was not funny. And one day he said, "I'll tell this town how it feels to be an unfunny clown." He told them all of why he looked so sad, and he told them all why he felt so bad. He told of pain and rain and cold. He told of darkness in his soul. And after he finished his tale of woe, did everybody cry? Oh, no, no, no. They laughed until they shook the trees with ha-ha-has and hee-hee-hees. They laughed in howls and yowls and shrieks. They laughed all day. They laughed all week. They laughed until they had the fit. They laughed until their jackets split. The laughter spread for miles around to every city, to every town, over mountains, across the sea, from St. Tropez to Nanchani. And soon the whole world rang with laughter, lasting till forever after. While Clooney stood in his circus tent, with his head drooped low and his shoulders bent. And he said, that's not what I meant. I'm funny just by accident. And while the whole world laughed outside, Clooney the Clown sat down and cried. That was really kind of serious, wasn't it? Okay. Zebra question. I asked the zebra, "Are you black with white stripes, or are you white with black stripes?" And the zebra looked at me and said, "Are you good with bad habits, or are you bad with good habits? Are you noisy with quiet times, or quiet with noisy times? Are you happy with some sad days, or are you sad with some happy days? Are you neat with some sloppy ways, or are you sloppy with some neat ways?" And on and on and on and on and on and on he went. I'll never ask a zebra about stripes again. Well, I had to scratch there because my nose was going. Good Families Don't, by Robert Munch. One night, Carmen walked up to the stairs to her bedroom, and there, lying on her bed, was a great big purple, green, and yellow fart. She ran down the stairs yelling, Mommy, Daddy, there's a fart on my bed. Don't be ridiculous, said her father. Good families like ours do not have farts. Nevertheless, he walked up the stairs to see what was going on. He opened the door to the bedroom and the fart jumped on him. Ugh. He said, ah, grr, ah, and fell right down. After a while, Carmen began to wonder how her father was doing. She crawled up the stairs, slowly looked over the top step, and saw her father's feet underneath the fart. So Carmen ran downstairs yelling, Mommy, there's a fart on top of Daddy. Don't be ridiculous, said Mom. Good families like ours do not have farts. What would the neighbors say? Nevertheless, she went upstairs to see what was going on. She opened up the door and the fart jumped on her. And she said, ah, and fell right down. Carmen ran to the phone and called the police. She said, help, there's a fart on top of Mommy and Daddy. Don't be ridiculous, said the police. Good Canadians do not have farts. What would the Americans say? Well, they would probably bring in the military to stop the border from any of us going down there, but we don't want to go down there. Anyway, was that political? I'm sorry. It's a story. Nonetheless, 3 police drove over to see what was going on. They knocked on the door. Blam, 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 blam. Carmen opened up the door and said, it's upstairs. When the police were halfway up the stairs, the fart jumped on them, and they pulled out their badges and yelled, stop! But everybody knows, farts don't listen to cops. It jumped on them, and they went, oh, God, and fell right down. And Carmen decided it was time to leave, so she ran completely away. She ran through the living room, through the kitchen, into her backyard, and crashed into her mother's favorite rose bush. She got an idea. She picked the biggest rose and gave it a smell. Carmen held out the rose in front of her and walked back through the kitchen into the living room. And she found the fart hiding behind the piano, eating a can of beans. And we learned why beans were really right there in your lower colon. Carmen walked up and stuck the rose right in the fart's nose. And the fart went, and what a terrible smell, it said, and ran out the front door. And then her mother got up the floor, and her father got up the floor, and the police got up the floor, and they all looked at Carmen and yelled, that was a fart. Don't be ridiculous, said Carmen. Good families like ours do not have farts. She walked up the stairs and she went to bed. But Carmen's mother stayed up very late working on her sewing machine. And it turns out sometimes good children do have farts. Well, clean your room, wash your hands, stay inside, go for some walks, enjoy yourself, maybe make a Rube Goldberg. And if you got any suggestions, old students, you're the ones that remember fun stuff that I did, and I'm old and I forgot, maybe message me. I think Monday I'm going to do fingerprinting, and then I don't know. I'm going to find some stuff. So thank you very much. Have a good weekend.